All right. Hey, guess what? Good morning. We're trying to keep it real. Somebody inbox me and say, "Hey, Mark, we want to see you with your shirt on." Well, it's not like I had my shirt off, but we time and time in the mornings we try to do these sort of programs to enlighten you as to what's happening in Guyana, to expose what is happening there, really, and we really appreciate the fact that you guys take time out to do that. Remember, if you have a business and you want to advertise, you want us to talk about it. Uh, just do the right thing. We'll talk about it here. You don't have to worry about no big expense and these things. We'll do it for you, of course. You know, um, hand wash hand. But now that we get that out of the way, thank you so much for sharing the link. I want to touch on a story of many of you probably remember. Some of you don't remember. Back maybe almost 20 years ago. I'm not sure if Christopher and others and Sherwin Henry and Rosanna Rodriguez. Rosanna, how are you doing? And others, Vidna Prasad and others, Matthew Dennison, Lynette Nelson. I'm not sure, but there was a story with a gentleman called Civic, and what the PPP did to Civic in destroying his home in order to build Pradoville 1. Pradoville 1 was where Jack Deere had his house, or so-called mansion, where all the PPP folks went over and they lived. They had semi-mansions, and they bulldozed people's homes and so forth. Civic was one of those victims. Civic is with me this morning. I haven't seen Civic in many, many years, but here he is. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Mark. Great. A long, long time by. Look,
It's been a very, very long time indeed, and you're
it's
like
been like 22 years. It was the 8th of March,
yeah, the 8th of March.
International Women's Day, when they did that. And my wife and me took the mattress and went to Jack Davis Gate.
Yeah. I noticed your son. He's gotten big. I've known him since he was a little boy when you guys got kicked out of that place.
Yeah, you were a little boy.
Little boy.
They were
So good.
going high school.
Yep, so good.
Ye-
How are you doing?
Not bad, Mark. Not bad. Morning to you and your viewers.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. You're like a little son because I've been with you guys since then when that injustice happened. And that's why I want to talk to your father so that the world can know exactly what happened to you and your family on that day. So that's why I'm doing this brief interview with your dad. And I thank you guys. I see you guys are still in the struggle. You guys are still surviving. and good to see
Yeah,
you.
Mark, we ain't giving up. We ain't giving up, Mark. We ain't giving up. They gotta come out, they do wrong to we, man. You know what they do to we, Mark, you know.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes it hurt
Civic,
my heart.
Yeah,
take
Mark.
take our before, because I want folks to share this link and spread the word, because this is a regime that is back in office that has been brutal, and they haven't changed overnight. But I want to talk about your story specifically so people can see how vicious the PPP regime is. um, where are you originally from, Civic?
I am from Port Moran, Free
Wait, wait.
Yard.
No, 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 man. You from Port Moran? You from, so
Yeah,
where,
buddy.
what
Yeah,
part?
buddy.
Far from the hospital side?
Free Yard.
Oh, you from Free Yard, which is not far from the hospital and so forth.
No, right there. My father, my mother from there. And my father from Lenora.
Oh, Lenora. But you
Yeah,
are,
my father and President Irfan Ali, grandfather and father and brother, Uncle Dubs and Uncle Major and neighbor. Me grew up with Irfan grandfather.
okay. Good. So but I'm taking you back to Port Morant now.
Yeah,
Like Port Morant Hospital and things. So you know them Gamandi and them? Or you left there young?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you know Rup Mahal Cinema then?
Me know Roop Mahal, me know Wim, me know Moses' father and mother, me know Kanai, me know Alvin Kalicharan,
Derek.
me know a lot of people, man. Me know Jagan. Jagan has come home by my mother house.
You know,
Jagan was one of my mother brother, man. How
you
you
and
think
I
me
have,
get the name Civic, man?
I know we're gonna
I
get
be
to that.
love Cherry.
Yeah.
But violence torn we and teach we great things to defend ourselves. You know,
Now,
that open me eye. The violence that day open me eye to
before
race.
before we get to that day, before we get to that day, I recall, and I've noticed some people. Miss Collison is saying here that she remembers that she was out in Queenstown that night. We'll touch on all of that. But let us touch on how this all started. When Pradoville 1 was about to be built, they wanted folks like maybe you and others who were there to be removed from that particular area. Talk to us about what happened that night, please, or leading up to that night.
That is ogle. We were living on ogle land and other people come and live on the land, mainly African people. But you had a guy from the Ministry of Housing named Suryal. Sheikh Baksh has no powers over this guy. This guy, Suryal, has special powers from Freedom House. So he now is demanding sex for house lot from these women. When I took it to Sheikh Baksh now, he chased me. When me go Freedom House, and me meet somebody that I knew since a little boy, Mrs. Philomena Saishuri. Irfan bin Barnett. She chased me and doubt me. And me tell she, madam, me father money build this place. You can't do me that. And I left and go away. And they came the night and break up the African people house. And when the camera came, the camera asked me, which was Sharma and all of you, well, what you have to say here now, Civic? Well, of course, me and Jagaman. Me name Civic. Me can't hide it no more or try for dodge or lie. This is race against African people and nothing more than that. Why you didn't break the Indian house? They were slaves to the plantation, Ogle. You have to give them the congeniality, the similar taste as yours. You're not doing that. Now you came the next, and break up my house, everything in my house.
One second, Civic. I just want our listeners to know that this was a matter that happened 20 something years ago, March 8th, one day before Chetty's birthday. They went into Ogle, and what Civic is saying here is what led to them breaking up his house and his family's house. He stood up for his African brothers and sisters, his African neighbors, his fellow Guyanese. He stood up for them, and this is what happened to you. So the next day, what they did?
They came and they break all my things, dragging my wife out my house. I always remember that. I always hate that. You should have never touched my wife. I always hate you for that. I never forgive you for that.
And who did
If
that?
it cost me my life, I would hunt that down.
Who did that again? Let the listeners know who did that.
The Surreal. This guy were acting outside of his mandate. And when you took it to the authorities, his superior, they doubt you and chase you. So we take that. I took my I had nowhere to go as a street child. My father dead and left me, Eleonora. Me ain't got nowhere. As a street child, my father named Coach. I used to sell ice cream, Eleonora. Me, your fan grandfather neighbor, your fan father didn't know me. Irfan grandfather and Irfan Chacha, Uncle Dabs, and Auntie Jessie, then was me neighbor too. And we had a radiogram thing. And Uncle Dabs would tell me, Nev, put on dosti, chahunga metoje. And me just put on them for Uncle Dabs. And he just sing. Me know his son Ali, me never see them back. Yeah, me grew up. Your grandfather is a clean man, very decent man. This violence that they create in my life and my family, me, Civic, Neville Buru Sital, Coach son, must thank the PPP. I have to thank you. You did me. What you did me, I would have never won. I would have never gotten. You give me one of the greatest lotto. Intelligence, you taught me. Your violence taught me who you are. And I maintain that. I can put my life to it. This country is indissoluble. This is real poverty. You have no turning back. One of the best options you have here is to migrate. Leave this country forever. This is a pirate country. Trade robbers, people from high office, the judiciary. You see what the judiciary did with you? You saw that, Chandra Sohan? You remember those things?
Oh yeah, I remember you turn around supporting me as well. But let's get back
You
to
know, I were being educated in that judiciary by senior people, or else I would have been jail by. Yeah, boy. So victimizing, so witch hunting, so dangerous, so dogmatic. That communism attack, that it cripples you.
let me
It
let me
cripples you.
let me take you back. It might be a painful situation, but let me take you back, Civic, to that night when they physically manhandled your wife and your family. You had young children. We just saw your son. How did you feel when they started to break up your home, manhandle your wife?
That's the thing. You see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Your hands should have never touched my wife. I hate your family for that. Forever we are enemy. There is no forgiveness in that. Me, Civic, says so. Yeah, your hand, that day, you You hurt my family by 4 o'clock, quarter to 4. You there into my house.
And
Me and me Indian family.
when you're saying you, you're talking about the people from the Ministry of Housing when Sheikh Baksh was the minister then, and when
Sheikh
Jagdeo was the
Bak, he is the man. He and Sudial family, Sudial dead. But his family has to fetch that. My children will carry that. I have 6 grandchildren today. They have to carry that. And if they don't carry that, they are with the devil. They have to. Wait, I tell you alone got too struggle. Cherry alone got too struggle in this country, my friend. Abi got too much to Cherry. Me gonna take Abi money. Abi daddy money Cherry just collect and today then turn weapon. Jagdeo now I represent Indian people. He's so proud. He's so fantastic. He's so meaningful. He made his magnanimous gesture there. Jagdeo. He's representing the Indian woman from the APNU AFC. And when Rehana Khalil Mohammed went to his gate with her mattress and her children to beg him, you know what he said? You know what Mr. Barra Jagdeo told me in the New Amsterdam ferry? I took him out his car in the New Amsterdam ferry. I'm ready to die there. I told him I'm ready to die here. This is my house, Maurice. You have to face it up here. Tell me the truth. You know what he told me? And the people in the boat that Mark bench up and Desma Height pay me Civic for take the mattress and Blackie Gate and me go for beg and show, but me ain't got body, me ain't got nobody body. Help me body, me got me girl children body, me got me son body. You spin it around body. Yeah, and try to make me that me bad. No man. Take the truth. You know what go on? But 3.5 years after, Sudial attack a woman in Success, East Coast Demerara for sex. And that woman set up whatever they have to set up at the Ambassador Club by Street Death Canada. And they go to Sheikh Baksh and Jagdeo come in that meeting and keep a 5-minute meeting and dismiss Sudial. Barra Jagdeo did that. But that was no justification for me. If they had worked on it then and give those African people land, if life shattered, the pain, he died, my wife died. And the pain, the struggle, the people in Pleasance, not for them picnic, their bottom house, the grand picnic, their bottom house, today Jagdeo, African supporter Babujan, he could have got from the 75 at least 25. The PPP could have get at least 25 because they would have done good for the people them. They would have listened to me and do good for them. Jagdeo no name Civic, me beg for Jagdeo. I be fight, I say bloodshed me face to cherry. I be war. I be go through pain. Me grew up with a fan grandfather. A fan grandfather represent me one time, the hardship been gonna rob me. And a fan grandfather stood by my side and represent me and told me to go tell Uncle Farouk. And me go and tell Uncle Farouk. And they pay me. And you know what happened? That crew incite against a fan grandfather. And a shaitan named Sadiq stoned down that man, your Frank grandfather. I saw that. And your Frank grandfather built a massive masjid. He was the boss. He never took a grandson in the house. Never ever. All shot, call a tear heap. But your humble integrity your Frank grandfather got. Moral, high, rich. Me neighbor. Yeah, but Politics, boy. That's what I tell you, the people in high office, the trade sector, the judiciary, the church leaders. Wow, this country in Guyana, there's an indissoluble union. You have to achieve intelligence to know these things and understand what is happening here. In Guyana, there's an indissoluble union between a magnanimous policy and the rewards of public prosperities and felicities. You know what prosperities? Felicities is that Guyanese people must be having a long, happy, peaceful, joyous life. PPP failed to apply the Jimmy Carter formula and reform the Constitution, chop the president powers. No, you can't do that. They would never do that. This is a serious problem. This is a terrible problem we're in.
You know, let's.
I am trying to get my family out of this country.
Civic.
Yeah.
That night, and as Chetty, as Barrett tried to blame me and Desmond Hoyt, then opposition leader and former President Desmond Hoyt, for paying you. And now let me just walk you through that I got there on that night. I never knew you. I got there on that night because I heard that they were PPP folks when Jack Day was president and Ministry of Housing, headed by Sheikh Bach. They were breaking people's homes down. When I got there, indeed, majority or all of the people's homes that were being broken down were persons of African descent. You took a position because that night your house was not being broken down, but you took a position because you spoke out against the injustices meted out African brothers and sisters. And as a result of that, they broke your house down. The night when I was there, 21 plus years ago, when they broke your house down, and you stood there and you were interviewed, you were being interviewed, and your wife was there, and all your little kids were there. And to watch your house break down with nowhere else to go, and made that decision to go in front of Jack Day's house to sleep. Tell us how exactly you felt being broken with nowhere to go and your family ill-treated like that as a man.
You see, that's what I told you earlier. I have to thank the PPP Jack Day regime for doing me that. I have to thank them. If it wasn't for that political violence, I want to be achieving this intelligence. I want to be knowing that, look, yes, Neville, watch your mama and daddy in support. Me tell me see them, and they're Holland, and America, and they're Canada. And me tell them, I don't come back here, me no want not, me alright. Me I beg them for a shot on pants. Black people give me enough. Buxton, Pleasance, Tiger Bay, Leopold, me can walk and meet them. They will treat me with love and kindness. They will kiss me when they see me. They will hug me up. Yeah.
Civic,
you know,
the night. Go ahead, Civic. You talk, bro. You talk.
You know, that night there teaches me, take me to Lalbaji, Suraj Bali, Kabakali, Uva Bali, and Silva Bali, and more. That took me straight there, sir. I were a little boy, right in front of the Lenora police station and Lenora there, by Wolf Shop there. That Wolf Daddy place, that Wolf place. Grandfather and grandmother. Grandmother like me. The whole of Lenora there, the whole of Muslim, them, all of them got to like me, Neville. Coach Ison. Shamu. Shami. Babu. Hamid. Gafur, Biller Pickney, Auntie Sogra. Roshan. Miss Auntie Sheila, headmaster wife. She got 3 sons, Light, Ben, and Moses. Me go with good people, man. But this thing here moved me away from them. This thing show me that those people don't understand the dynamics of politics playing in this country, and as such, I just avoid the company. I just call him Meiji, one married Irfan and his wife. He grew up with me. And Majid, my neighbor. Me always live good with me neighbor them. Me them Majid here, so me neighbor them and me alright. Buxton, me live good. Pleasance,
Civic.
the best place I live in. But
Civic.
the love won't be coming if gonna be violence me the night. Understand this thing. I had to face that. There's me karma.
I noticed
Understand this thing.
some comments coming through. One here, Noel Lawrence is saying that you are a very honorable man. Someone else is saying that Mark and Civic have reconnected. Lots of people are showing love, respect, and admiration for you, Civic. You could go and you can later on you'll see that for yourself. But let me take you back to that night in front of Jack Deer's house in Fauchard Street, I believe it was, in Queenstown, when you had nowhere else to go and you took your mattress there with your wife and your family. And on that night, you guys were arrested too. Tell us about the arrest and what happened thereafter.
Yeah, I was arrested there and my wife was arrested. But you see, that's what I tell you, it's my karma. Vic Puran is my wife family. And Vic saw it when you put it on the screen. And Vic rushed to the Alberton police station and defend us. And Mr. Larry Lewis came and shook my hands and asked me, boy, where you came from? I told him Port Moran. He said, you's a Cherry Jagan. You's a fighter. He take out the money and he give the sergeant and tell him what? Buy anything for this man that you want. Don't lock him up. Put him to sit. Don't lock up his wife. Victor Acti and Ken wife. And next morning they bring Cyrene. Like me the president and then carry me a coat. And a set of liars. Like them been there 4 o'clock a morning and wait for Civic come. Including Mr. Cadet, Mr. Jackman, by a series of liars by Mr. Ringo. Them come for represent me free of cost. Yeah, I must thank all of you. Hey, you stood up for me, buddy, or else me not dead. My wife, I help everybody, whatever poverty me they in. Me gonna live, man. Me gonna try, but what? I gotta understand that this thing ain't got no one, Guyana. The out. This thing is for yourself, buddy, and there's a guy now with everybody. This thing is robbery, lies, deceitfulness. And one of the best thing that I saw, you know what Jack Dio, Mr. Carter told Jack Dio? To reform the Constitution. Let the system be more responsive. The man gets so vexed, the man tell you what, he, Barra Jack Dio, has to make a magnanimous gesture to the people of Guyana. Yeah, the man fight and fight and fight and fight for get this place into togetherness. Don't forgery, don't forge them that you're there together. You're there together. One Guyana. You have to try to forge something now because what? You know, this divide, I don't see it ally come together. I don't see it. And for a better life for Guyanese people, you have to migrate. And if you don't migrate, the standard of education is so low, it's so poor. I know Mr. Saddam Hussein since a little boy, the CEO.
The chief elections office, education officer, name is
and
Saddam
I know the
Hussein.
chief elections officer too.
Saddam Hussein. Good.
And I know Mr. Mizir too. I know all of them.
Let me ask you
I know
something now.
Mrs. Bibi Shadik.
Let me ask you something, Civic. Your wife has now, she's passed away. I bet, with all the torment and all the unfortunate things that she went through under the PPP, under Jack Day and so forth. What was that like feeling? Because I knew you were very close to her. You guys, what they put you guys through was able to divide up and split up the family and all manner of things that the PPP caused. Talk a little bit about that aspect of your life, if you wish.
My wife is from Kitty, Newton. She has 6 sisters in Canada. Her mother, her brothers. And they asked me to come to Canada. But the job I am doing is a good job I am doing. I am not going to Canada, and I decide not to go to Canada. And she decided not to leave me. My wife died right in this camp here. And I took her on a plane and to Tong, and Sheikh Muinul Haq, he do the ceremony for us. And if I tell you something, Irfan Ali grandfather, Miss Uncle Keza, was to my father. And Irfan Ali appeared at my wife's funeral and petition Allah in a janaza to forgive my wife. God is alive, buddy. When I saw Irfan, a woman, Sarita said, Nev, what's Irfan? I said, Irfan? And that go back to his grandfather right away. That ain't got nothing to do with PPP. That acts of God. Yeah. But that there is no justification for criminal violence in a democratic society. Just as well, there is no justification for political violence in a democracy.
What
And
you saw firsthand, Civic, how the PPP treated African people when they bulldozed and broke up all the house, and you decided that that's not. You saw firsthand. How did that make you feel to see your fellow Guyanese because of their ethnicity being targeted by the PPP regime under Jack Neo? How did that make you feel, and what is different today?
well, you see, I answered that question already. That now, I have to thank the PPP boy. Me, Civic, have to thank the PPP for doing me that. You know what the intelligence they put in here, boy? I have to thank them. I have to teach people. I have to move on with my life. You know, my mom and Leonora tell me since a little boy, big mange nahi beta. You know what he tell me there? He said, Nev mustn't beg. I'm a street child. Me got a friend named Babu on Shortville. Ride me with the motorbike and bring me pan Leonora to the Amstel. And give me $5. An African banner. I wish you good luck and goodbye. He wish me turn around with 10 times and watch me, and me turn around with 20 times and watch he. And we part. We never see back Matty. And me never go back to Leonora. Me start to walk and live. Me end up on the pave. Meet a back banner named Morris, and he helped me through. And it took me 22 years to put those pieces together and build that whole house, which I call a home for my family. My wife, sister them, and their mother never gave a house lot of Guyana. Never own a house lot of Guyana. always live a people renting house. And all of them gone to Canada and all of them get house and land, car, business, construction company. Royal Jewel House family they married. Cosmopolitan. And they live happily. And thank Allah for them. Yeah. My sister them gone and I come back here. There's no justification for this thing. There's no winner in this matter. Pain. You have to understand it.
Neville, Civic, when you look around the PPP now again, what they did 20 something years ago, and you see folks in Mocha, homes being broken down, business being destroyed, folks in Linden. Now they're targeting Lincoln Lewis family and his property and all these things as a result of their ethnicity, because of their Africanness. How does that make you feel 21 plus years after you stood up for African people in Guyana? You did that, Neville. How does that
You
make
see,
you
that to show you there is no partnership. Partnership and partnership alone got generate social and economical progress. You don't just talk this thing one Guyana. Do this thing. So that is why Mr. Carter was saying, let the system be more responsive, be sympathetic, be soft, understand them, then go through scars in them life, since slavery, the wound, the pain, live in them forever. Help them. Don't violence them. That is the answer. Help them. Don't you violence them. Moko, I was begging on the screen, don't violence them. Yeah, you build house. You give them land. They were living there. Why you didn't give them the value of the land on the roadside? Or why didn't give them the land just right there along the roadside? That is my contention in it. My contention is not just, my satisfaction, not just you give them a house. Give them value. Give them their worth. This is a beautiful country to live in. And when you understand what is happening here, it's a divide. You check it anyhow. Watch, like I show you. If Barajagdi on the executive them in Freedom House, including Janet Jagan, she was there, could have took what I said and deal with those African people. They could have got 25 votes, 3 house of family, 75 votes they would have got there.
You know, Civic, I read a guest editorial in today's Stabrook News, and I know you're a man you read. And Stabrook News is hitting at the PPP, Irfan and Jagdir and all of them, saying that they're just talking about race relations and they're not doing anything. In fact, they're throwing more fuel, so to speak. Today's Stabrook News guest editorial. We're not seeing this one Guyana that they're talking about. You just spoke about that. We're not seeing this togetherness, this harmony coming from them. We're not seeing it. They're going to Linden, bulldoze the people's home. They're going to Mocha, bulldoze and beat up. Look, there's a photograph of a woman, and you know all of this here too well because you've been in that struggle. Even though Jack, they want to say that I along with Desmond Hoy, paid you to go in front of his house. What did you say to him when he made that deceitful allegation?
I told him, you see, you gotta understand Jack Deal, you know. Jack Deal got a lot of psychology, you know. You gotta understand them things, you know. The psychology what he used for me read already. And me say, oh, I can't crowd there in the boat. And I say, oh, you pointing guns to African people. It gonna fire back. Jack Dave, I have children. You don't have children. Think what you're saying. You don't know if God will give you any children. Think what you're saying. Jack Dave, come and tap me on me shoulder and say, cool it, cool it. Come your office. Me go your office. Date, time. Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Well, some people know me in the boat. Me and Bobby Shan, they man come and talk to me and reason and some. I say, all right, buddy, I better settle for that. And me go there. When me go to the office of the president for meet President Barra Jack Day, he invited me to the office. In public in New Amsterdam Ferry. Mr. Jack Day left a message with his security that for tell Civic he don't want to see me. I said, good. Sergeant, please, sir, can I speak to one Mr. Ragu, the president's secretary? He said, yes, Civic, you have that right. And the man carry me in the place and call. And Ragu said, Civic, by where you going, so by the man go help, the man want to see you by. Civic, by who you going, so by you must go Freedom House, buddy. How you going, so and this and that and that and that. I said, go answer. Go answer if me wife and pick them and get raped there. You, girl, me want to tell you nothing more. And me just left she. And you don't want to see me? And me gone. The same day me gone and me go Regent Street and Jack Dave the city hall keep meeting to take over the piece of land from Mecca Arcade. Tulsi land there. And me stamp in front of the clock and Jack Dave come in. And I'm gonna push his hand in front of me. And Jack Dave slip his hand out of the banner hand and come straight into me hands up, ma'am. And when Jack Dave realized the Civic hand in hole, here what Jack Dave gonna say, oh, you, no, don't come to my office. So I said, me hold hand, you know. I said, that Burnham office, not you office. Mr. Burnham Bill office. And he pull your hand, he walk and he go away. The next time I meet he, a vigilance. Yeah. Next time I see he, a vigilance. Bye. The man spent 2 minutes, because the crowd there again see, and the man run in the car and go away. You know, you divert from the issue and you want to feel like you is a beggar and he can belittle you. And because he a president or your vice president or general secretary for the party, he's the boss. Okay, let's see how long Allah, Krishna, and Christ and Selassie you go allow it by. Let me see. Me got 6 grand picnic. And you could have win them, but you hurt we. And you push lies. And we talk the truth now. You want violence me and me family. Yeah, no man would like no man for touch your wife or drag your wife. Yeah, no man would never like that. What become of the land today now? Go and see people live in the bearing ground now. The same land, you say, a Calgary area, a rubbish heap. I will live in the flight path of the Ogle tarmac. And so, bearing ground. 4 other things. Don't you forget, African people, the one that were flying his plane and spraying chemicals at us that day when our homes were demolished, destroyed, our lives were battered. Don't you forget that. All those guys in big office today, yeah, in big office. And I love you people. I have to love you people. You saved my life. Yeah, you saved my life.
And that's why today we maintain that friendship, even though sometimes we're not in touch because of your area where you are. But I always have you in prayers and thoughts. Is your son still close by? I want to ask him a quick question.
Yeah, but Mark, I will show you one more thing. I will
Sure,
teach you
sure,
one more thing.
sure. Go ahead.
Most of the days as a child growing up at Lenora, the masjid were building and that were our liming place. Now me hadn't parents, so that become my sanctuary in the day. And in the day now I meet Irfan grandfather. And he taught me this. Irfan grandfather taught me, Uncle Keza, that Almighty Allah got a camera. And in this camera, there is a chip. And this camera focus on every human being. And when you die and you go up to Almighty Allah, Allah would put you in the garden of paradise and you'll have all the wine and dine and girls that you want, that you need. And when you finish that, the next day you would insert the chip and you will see all the wrong you did on earth and you will get paid from that. I teach my children that. What your friend grandfather taught me. And I live to see that those who attacked that man, Uncle Keza, bye, I don't want to tell you that. If I could meet your fan, I would tell him that in his ear. That is what Hinduism call karma. You see, that's my karma, Mark. That was Gandhi and Mandela karma, boy. Martin Luther King. You see a man come to Guyana, he named Sadhguru. You see the man telling save the soil. He starts short-sighted. He's not seeing well. He should have told them, save your lives. He's not seeing well. He doesn't understand Hinduism. He doesn't understand truth and non-violence. And he told them to save the soil. And left the lies, the many lie. Oh God, Lord, Christ, Bhagwan, Allah, Selassie, Buddha. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, boy. I don't know. But all that Guyanese people need, all of us, Amerindian, East Indian, African, Europe, all of it, what we need in this country. Not handout, not zakat, not beg or spy. We need $1,000 hour, 8-hour work, $8,000. 8 5, 40 US a day. Laborer, give them, and people love you, and you would become the real king. But you taking 8 million and 80 million and 100 million. And the Guyana dollar tumbling at 214, 215, 212, rolling, dong, poor, poverty. And the Dr. Champion or great economist from Moscow, Barajagdeo, cannot work that money to meet 100 for one in 23 years, plus this 5. They cannot do that. That's the problem. That's the real problem. And racism gone in this country. People want money for eat. People want money. You think people, watch, 30,000 for buy boots, for picnic, for go school and uniform. and bag and whatever underwear. You see when you talk, people don't like you. But you got your purpose. And your purpose is truth. Bornham or Mr. Bornham or the black man Bornham. In a build one Sanata textile mill left from there. In a plant cotton when I grow. That $30,000 can replace that Sanata textile mill. Mr. Bornham Sanata textile mill. For picnic uniform, that $30,000 can replace them. Yeah. Them is the things. I be claim it by this. I look at Mark watch. Me got thank the PPP for put me through a university. And I show you too. I show you too, boy. Me was in prison, boy. I used to eat you pint tart, boy. I used to get you newspapers you don't read, so I used to get it. Because food used to be coming for you. We used to be exchanging verbally. We know what's going on there. We can live in there. We understand that. Gandhi live in there home a year. We get Mandela being a 2080, we get knowledge. Them is the gains. Them is the gains. Me say, me not get book, man, but me them imagine hey, body, they even got library here, body. The school got zombies since 20 years now, they can't take them out. And Irfan come here, body. I see me go call him, he tell Irfan, come to Madia. Come see what go on here. No transparency. Share trade robbers. But the poor in this country is the masses. And the poor there on any side. You know why? Who can give them a better bread? In terms of all aspects, education, health, whatever, entertainment, children care, that's it they want. And $1,000 guy, these people want to buy $8,000 a day for laborer. I'm begging for that buy. You're giving them 2,500, 2,000, 3,000. You want to work them whole day. Oh my God. Sad. Sad. And that's why when they leave this country, they're not coming back. And then we were being told that it's a brain drain, but it's not a brain drain. It's a scare drain. The fear in the minds of the people. And they migrate and they go. They cannot close that gap. They cannot close that gap. And that's the problem too. The gold and the diamond and the pearl and all the certificate they go give by is a 3-card game playing, man. That is what playing in this country. Trade, robbery, pirate, university graduates. You need laws to these things. You need to chop the president immunity. If you don't do that, you're not going nowhere. Not aisle. You're going to not change by. You got to chop the president power by. Jack, they have no time with you. It's when the white boy say you out. You got to go. Nobody more can talk there. This property is Columbus, European property. All the resource have to go to them. And any government go against that. They are not like Jack in 1964, out of office. kick out. And that's the situation in this country. Nothing more. Like I showed you earlier, there is no justification for you build a house to me, you give me 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, you send me pick me at university. No, I am being wounded. My family is being wounded. You cannot solve that. Don't come with your influence to me. You cannot solve that. You can try to help for influence me. But I know that is my worth. I know
Well
that.
said.
Nobody
Well
can carry me wrong and bring me wrong.
Well
If
said,
me
Civic.
not been that, African people were slaves to this plantation ogle. And if the Indian man, including me, can get piece of the land, I can't see why they can't get. By me, I got a couple dozen trucks today. With the intelligence of me got. Couple dozen trucks, but that don't convict me. That for show you the hate, the abias, the dark, split, separate, bottomless pit that they see and pushing these African people in. Hey, Civic, be careful there. Be careful there. There's no partnership. There's no partnership. There's no congeniality. Similar taste, what for you, for me. How you get partnership? The cooperativeness. You see, that's selfish. What? Listen to the statement here. In the magnanimous gesture, your Carter tell you, your Carter tell Mr. Barajagdew, go into dictionary encyclopedia and you found that. Say he, Barajagdew. You know the man tell you there has to make a magnanimous gesture to the people of Guyana. The man tell you, Jagdew, rise above pettiness. Don't be mean. Don't be selfish. Be kind and generous to the injured and insult. Those people were being injured since the superior leader for the world got accept that you just an ordinary man and you try to deny them the rights. Think to the future. Create the partnership. Not just to show a couple and then they're on your side and then go back on the other. No, man, don't do that. Come to the truth. You can build this country. You can develop this country. But you have to do it in truth. And that is what happening.
You know,
You see Jagdew, your fan, I tell them, bring back old people, get back the supporter. You see that? You see that?
oh yeah.
Jagdew will tell you, hey, we won't know for them. Then I go come back. I have to love your fan. The president Irfan Ali, or whatever they want to call it, I have to love him. And I have to dislike Barajagdew. My family have to do that. And I always have to love Irfan. I grew up with Irfan, grandfather and father. And Uncle Dabs. I know the whole family. Me was a neighbor. And Allah sent Irfan for read Janaza, petition the Almighty Allah for savor. So I have to love Irfan. When me go Lenora, whenever time me go Irfan Dari, But your grandfather live, your daddy may live there. Me go there, me care me daughter there and shall because what? I be a neighbor. Young Greens, I'm in a neighbor. Mark,
Oh yeah.
you and Mr. Greens have been a neighbor. Me know that. And I live good. Me and your fan grandfather and daddy and neighbor, Auntie Jessie, he pick me know them. The whole of them know me. Ganga Pasad know me. The whole of them know me, but because I talk the truth, them think create enemy. And I know that. So
Let
that
me
put me now in a class.
let me say this, and of course, Civic is talking about the politics. He doesn't agree with it. He doesn't agree with the racism. He doesn't agree with the division and how Africans, his fellow African Guyanese brothers and sisters, are being targeted. He spoke about the history that he has had with Irfan's grandfather and his Irfan's relatives, and from from a Muslim standpoint, there's hardly any hatred there. But because he's not saying he likes the policies and so forth and so on. He's speaking out against racism and especially African brothers and sisters being targeted. But because of what Jagdir did to his family, where people manhandled his wife and all manner of things. His wife is now deceased. So I get the message and I understand you loud and clear, Civic. Nothing, absolutely nothing is being misunderstood here. You are speaking from your heart. And I want our listeners to understand exactly why he's saying certain things that he's saying. A lot of our listeners believe in you. In fact, 99.9% of them are sending their love to you. I have a quick question to ask your son. Let me ask him a quick question.
Yeah, Mark.
What's up,
Yeah,
buddy?
Mark.
How you
What's
doing?
up?
Yeah,
Not
man.
bad. They're trying with this little hard life in this country.
Good. With all the oil we get, buddy, things still rough? All the oil, the billions of
No, there's
dollars?
special people got a thing, you know. Jack there when he party them, he got his family and friends, cronies, them got them thing they doing there. We got try with where we since we left, since the house broke down, Mark, we living in the bush. I come and we get a place here. I throw up a little thing. It's a plastic, yes, I.
Mm.
And there's nothing for shame about. Is this where he's live? I got my two children, one is 13 and one is 12.
Mhm.
You know? Since the government throw we down, we there fighting with them, eh? This is where we is live. The rain showering down a little side.
Mhm. Let
But
me ask you,
since the government,
let me see. Wow, that's where you guys are.
yeah, this is where we there since 22 years now. Coming down the bush and we hunting around here. I just try with little goal, do a little mechanic work. Well, this is what I get teachings are from my father.
Yeah.
But we there trying, buddy.
A
Can't
lot
give up.
a
It's
lot of
full
people
quarter half. What is this?
a lot of
What's
people
this? What
remember
is
you.
this?
A lot of people, a lot of
21.
people. I think we may have, they probably was using something to charge up the phone and so forth. And I recall Civic's son when he was a little boy. A little boy. And look the stupidity of this silly person. Go and look walk. That's all I can say. Civic has been working. He's a diesel mechanic along with his son. They're working and they have been basically hurt by Jack Deere and the PPP. That is why sometimes you don't know people's pain. But look, this heartless SOB comes on this program to tell people, and this is what they love to do. They love, and I sure this one Amos is sit down somewhere drinking bush rum. This Avia, Ali, or whoever it is, the first thing they love to go and holler tell people, go look walk. I'm sure he's one lazy, this guy is Ali is probably one lazy Katahar, Korhi, Chamar. First thing they like come and tell people, go and look walk. It's people, crazy set of people. Why you don't go and tell Irfan Ali, go and look walk? But instead, they're the biggest welfare recipients right now in Guyana. You heard what Civic Son said. Who is benefiting from the oil than these big people in office. Only their friends and cronies are benefiting. Folks like Civic and his son are not benefiting. The ordinary ranking, the working class people in Guyana aren't benefiting. Only those cronies, those are the cronies who are benefiting. Civic, we love you and we appreciate you. And I'm not going to think but remember now, Civic is a smart guy. Don't be fooled. You don't have to attend I-Flat University, a fake university like Irfan and these guys, to have intelligence. Civic is a smart guy. And Civic is a Muslim. And we got to understand where Civic is coming from and his position. He took a position to represent African Guyanese. Not too many people are going to do that. That cost him almost everything. Cost him his house, divided his family. His wife has since died. He took lockup. He was charged and all manner of things. So we got to see where this guy is coming from, where Civic is coming from. A smart guy. He didn't have to suffer the way he has been suffering under the PPP regime for the 20-something years. You know what? He saw a wrong was being done to African Guyanese, where their homes were being bulldozed back 21 or 22 years ago. His house wasn't being touched. But because they were his neighbors and his friends, and he saw the disadvantage being taken, that they're bulldozing, they're broken down only black people house. Jack Dale administration did that 21 years ago. Jack Dale administration did that to black people, to African people in Guyana. And it took that Indian brother to stand up and say, wrong is wrong. You guys cannot do that. The next day, guess what? Guess what the next day? Civic house broke down. They broke it down. Kick him out. Destroyed his family. And he took his mattress and went in front of Jack Deer's house in Forshaw Street, Queenstown. He got locked up. You think sometimes you don't understand people's pain, you know. You don't understand how people suffer. You don't understand how people take certain oppression. You don't understand. And many of you guys, probably for the first time, have heard it directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak, as to the pain Civic has been carrying for 20-something years. 20-something years. He's not letting go of that. It is there, my friends. Who feels it, knows it. And I repeat, who feels it, knows it. And for those little ones who are running around collecting little crumbs here and there, and little crumbs, whatever, the crumbs not going to last long. Don't be fooled by the crumbs and the little handouts. Don't be fooled. It's not going to last long. Civic knows, and Civic was preaching this morning. It was timely. It was timely. I noticed that Civic is back with us. I was about to wrap up, but no, Civic is back with us because Civic wants to talk. And I'm not going to, Civic and I didn't plan this. Civic and I didn't plan this. I didn't sit down with Civic's son and say, this is what Abiga talk, or this is what Abiga not talk, or these are, I didn't. This happened as a result of, it just happened. Hey, sorry about that, we got cut off. You were saying, how?
Yeah, buddy.
Because,
I'm trying to get this thing fixed, my battery source run low there.
Got you. So since as a little boy, since as a little boy, you saw your home being broken down and your father and mother, and do you remember the night when you guys were in front of Jack Deer's house with the mattress?
Yeah, I got a little bit of memory about it. Yeah, I remember I was a little boy then, but I
Yeah,
got some fair knowledge pertaining to the incident there.
got you. So
Yeah,
when
they
you
was
saw,
dragging us, you know. My
yeah,
mom and my dad and me and my sister, we were on that mattress that night there. Yeah,
yeah.
they
So
locked up my father and my
what do
mother,
you,
and they
what do you, what do you remember when you saw your house being broken down, damaged, broke down? You were standing there as a little
yeah,
boy.
well,
What was going through your head?
the morning there, Daddy Bailey snatched the dog, Milo. We had a German Shepherd there, else they would have shoot you up too. That was a dread morning, Mark. The morning there, I could never forget it in my life, eh? Because it's the contribute towards we live in this way right now, you know. We had things, me and man had two truck there. We did doing with mechanic work, I did going to school, my sister did going to school. I did further me education to GTI there, I did doing a course there in agriculture mechanic. All the scrap. We didn't do nothing more. We had to end up fending with we old man for we bread, fighting for see what kind of justice we could get. But we didn't get no justice. So we turned to the interior. We find it a little bit more peacefully. We walk in. We ain't getting nothing much, but we trying. We living in this plastic here till God come and take my mother right here. For so many years, she's struggling still with me and my daddy. I ain't give up. But that was a terrible moment, Mark. Sometimes it has flashback in my head, you know. Jack Day when that man is dangerous, man, for this country. With what he do to we, and when I read with Moko, right? They give them people there's not them people live there for so many years, like we really live there. They say we went in the flight party places are garbage, if the places are bearing ground. And if you see Mark, the land fence and left right there all now.
Yes, you're
People
talking about
living in the
you're talking about Ogle right opposite Pradoville one, right? Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
old road down on the back there.
Mhm.
It's not no bushy area or nothing. We there ain't nobody where we live in there comfortable. But because of what me old man talk out the truth now, they make we face the consequence and the pressure, you know. And a
And
day like today still, cause you see where we there?
the
Till in
truth
region
is,
8, you know much miles away from town we there.
they were basically your dad was speaking out against what was happening to um, African Guyanese. That's what
That
he
was
stood up.
wrong. That was wrong.
You mentioned Mocha, and of course, Linden went through the same thing, but what it did to the people of Mocha and so forth, especially predominantly African Guyanese. You guys have always stood out on the side of truth and justice. How does that make you feel to see how African Guyanese are being treated? This is not to say that our Indian brothers and sisters are not being treated as badly as possible, but the target of African Guyanese, how does that make you feel?
Mark, that's wrong. Everybody equal in this country, you know, Mark. If you caught me and you caught a black man, you're gonna see we got the same blood. So me know why this present government treating African people in that manner. Jack the guy in Bob these days he's opening him out most of the time. He beg him black man right now for support. But them can't get out. We is not just one of the Indians where they push down, you know. They got other black people and other cool people where they push down to. But you see, them people ain't got knowledge and them ain't got education to the level, them ain't fight, they're frightened. Like this government, when you talk, they just lock you up. They got the power, they in power. But we ain't frightened, lock up is joke. We stark, we don't care. You see, my day, they know we good. Civic, they ain't got know what the name is all for. Cause we stand for the truth, righteousness. We there for defend us. This why we live in so like we poor, we there in poverty, cause we stand for the truth. You see me, man, work hard and build a house, man. We That was a swamp we gonna live in there. Me and man walk and we build, we dig, we buy zinc sheet, paint up the house, glass door we had. You supposed to got some of the video and picture,
I still
eh?
have some
Me and
video.
man work hard
Yeah.
and for know that it's still in the bush here, me lady had to come in a plastic and dead, Mark. It rough. It rough. If I had power, Mark, I don't know what I would do. I do honestly. If I had power with what we suffer, right, and how we suffer, the power if I had it, what I would do? It would have made Guinness Book of World Record, brother. Cause
I hear you.
it's real poverty, man. We hungry, you know. We hungry, but for know that the standard where we living at, we didn't have to beg nobody. Up to now, we don't beg nobody. But we had a whole zinc roof. When they done with, we they left we with a stage like they put in me more from Madeline and me sister. Guys, this how they do it there. Broke down the whole thing, they dash out everything. Me already had a little thing there where we buy ration. We don't buy pong button them thing. We buy case cause we know how to live. If you see what a man is doing in this house, boy, hey, I tell you, Mark, it's painful. For 22 years after now, I get big now. I get understanding, I get knowledge. For know that when me old man do they carry the mattress in front Jack Dew Gate, they no shame. There's representing we. Cause he do we around Jack Dew. And they give we power that make me and me old man, my sister, we recognize in today's society for fighting. If we did dead, we did get recognized more. Because it's best that they kill we there. Because we live in pan earth still here, but the pain and the pressure is more. Because you're facing it every day, you know. You're facing it. It's best that they shoot we. Like what Venezuela and so on, Cuba and them man is doing, Castro, Russia and them country. Yeah, they put you and line you up and shoot you down. This country gonna become just like that. Like Russia, yeah. Communist, dictator. Cause we work and build a peaceful, we live in there, everybody live in there. Them people will come and live them black man them broke up. We didn't live in rent in house Pleasance. I grew up with them people. Some of them still end up like we and worse than we. We still see about two a brother and a cousin. Them get mad. All we grew up together, we got the same age. It surprised me for know that them two children mad. They say them mad at me. I say, what?
Last week, me send 2,000 for them.
Yeah, the state, the shock. You see, I still hold with me father, me and lose. Cause they would have battered me all over. They would have tried to forget me like them. This is what I want. Forget you like them. Like a dog. They tell you sit down there, you must sit down there. No, we in there for the. You see this piece of place that we live in, Pony? We come and we block it, we build up, we ain't got money for bill zinc, we ain't get nothing. The government take away everything from we. They take away power. Cause the strength where we had for work, the education, me or money done bill, we ain't got pay rent. We live in them, take away all of that from we. Shatter we education right away. I gotta stop school. My sister gotta stop. She had to get a man. Life torn. It wasn't supposed to be like that. It's the shatter what we get.
And
we ain't get nothing more.
Where you guys are right now. Let me show the people what Jack Dale has actually caused. What Jack Dale has caused. Look where Jack Dale is. Look where he lives compared to where these folks that he caused misery. Look at Jack Dale. Look where Jack Dale lives. And look where these people look that he has destroyed their lives. Look at
Mark.
Him. Yeah.
The cutting as a small boy, right?
Yes, sir.
I know about going and picking, eat a pint upon the land. The land had a tower. I used to fly kite, catch fish, play around there and watch he get up for nothing. Yeah.
Yep.
That's where he live. Watch where he live. And watch where Civic live now. Yeah. This where he live by. But this is where Civic live.
Yeah, let's see.
You see it now, Mark?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
You taking a look there now?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking.
Good. This is where Civic live. After 22 years, Jack, they put we in this. Yeah. From something to nothing. This is what Jack they do. And they said they there for the one Guyana, they're working for the poor. You see that, Mark?
Yeah, we're seeing. We're seeing.
Yeah. This is where I live in.
We're seeing.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah,
This is where I live in.
a lot of people don't know of this story, and there are lots of other stories just like this. You look at what you just did. Immediately you saw where Jack Dale lives now, and you remember as a little boy that area how it used to be, and now look what Jack Dale take the people land. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
this time when you used to go and play.
The place there now, you see this place here? So what is that? I used to go and pick ET Pointer, you know there. This is where the tower went.
That tower.
Yeah, radio,
That's your hometown, man.
GBC had a pole there, a tall pole. He moved that pole and carried
That's your hometown.
on the west coast now, no? Parfait Harmony he carry the tower now. Yeah. I grew up there as a little boy, swimming that on that seashore there, catch fish, pick like next month. Today's the 4th, right? Tomorrow we gonna start making kite. Yeah, we can start making kite and go all around there. You used to go hide and go in the compound cause there's watchman it. Yeah, and look where watch his house now, Mark, and watch where I live in now.
Yeah, look, let's show
He
them
put
again.
me to the ground.
Yeah.
And he the up top, watch. He the up top and I there the bottom.
You got children.
And I got children. He ain't got none.
That we are aware of.
Well, me know about though. I can't even make the statement, Mark. Cause I never hear he been married like just because he been get a president work. For say he got a wife.
Because no
You gotta
real
sit down here for the battery.
the battery going?
They're on a cable, that is gonna talk to you there.
Watch.
Yeah, Civic.
This are the 5 for them.
No,
for
you gotta show you it's soda.
This are the 5 gram picnic. What me got to. Then they brush down.
You wait.
Beautiful. Civic,
Yeah.
my heart goes out to you, man. I am so proud, but yet I'm so saddened by your condition as a result of Jack Dale and the PVPs, their heartlessness towards you and scores of other Guyanese. They have lots of people who are saying, look, they love, respect, and appreciate you guys. And I cannot disagree with them at all, Civic.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
the last words my wife told me, right? She tell me, Dad, I love you. Don't credit people, Dad. That was the last thing she told me.
I haven't seen your wife since that night, since that day.
Yeah.
This is so sad. Before we go, Civic, and we will stay in touch. Like I said, you're not the thing about you, Civic. Even if we speak a couple of times, you never ask for anything. You never.
No, me all right, Mark.
Your condition is you never ask for anything, and I respect you for that. But I know you're into your diesel mechanic stuff. You will hear from me soon, very soon. But before we go, what message you have for Guyanese in general, but specifically, we are seeing lands being taken away, homes being broken down, mainly by our African brothers and sisters, by the PPP. What message do you have for your African brothers and sisters?
I would like them to accept truth. Try to understand the essential of truth. That's the only way we would get peace. Educate yourself. Value yourself. Don't full up nobody neck with flour. Full you family, your blood. Me mama in a pick out the whole yard, the whole scheme. when Jagan come. And I cover Jagan head with flower. You sure Jagan party do abi today? You sure Jagan da ata come Babuja and me hometown free yard. She remember any poor body and look for them, hey, why you violence? She look for any of them. Joey get brain shatter. For know that hey, this for me daddy left here. This what I go on now. He get brain shatter. And so African people, you need to take a hold. And if you don't, you got to value yourself, man. You're rich. Don't fall. When you're dead, you fall, man. And so me got it. Whole man life gonna be better if not for me. My grand pick me. My great grand pick me. I like the amongs ayo. Watch me depths of why you nigga know how the Indian man in Cherry Jagger no walk when me walk. When me walk with I, me feel like Gandhi in South Africa with I, why? When me spin around me, I'm so look. Yeah.
Civic,
And you teach me things that I never know.
Civic.
Mark, you went to the every dog from Shatter.
Oh
And
yeah.
you show me things, Mark. I make, look, I make my life, I can smile, I can walk free. And you teach me a lot. You know, when I was a little boy, I had a teacher named Miss Merchant and Mr. Joe Gilgius. I were their best boy.
You should have been a lawyer.
Me, Neville.
You should have been a lawyer or the president of Guyana. I do mean.
That's the work I had wanted.
Yeah.
That's the job I had wanted, to be a lawyer.
Civic.
But poverty, my family, my died, and leave me. And I end up with a Muslim society in
Leonora.
coming from a Hindu home. I end up in a Muslim society in Lenora, which took care of me.
Before we
And
go,
then I
Civic,
migrated.
Civic, before we go, people would love to hear more and more about your story. This is not the end of it. I am saying, Civic, you should write a book. And if I get some folks who probably have the time to write a book about your story, to tell the world about what happened to you, the injustices that you, your family endured, and want to be part of that book. Civic, before we go, I've noticed a lot of people are talking about zinc. You need some zinc sheet or whatever it is. I know you're a humble man. You've never asked for help. You never once ever asked me for any help. Would you accept any help from folks who want to assist with zinc sheet or whatever it is, sir? Or in whatever way folks want to assist you, that I can give them your number. Nothing is being done through me, and I please do not send anything through me. Whatever you guys want to do, if Civic accepts that help, it will be done through him, through his number. You guys will call him and make whatever arrangements. Please, again, nothing through me, unless Civic accepts that. If not, Civic, it's all up to you now, sir.
Mark, I need help, right? I need help, right? But I don't need donation. I don't need handouts. I need help, and I want to feel this out. I want my children to feel this. I want my grandchildren to feel this. The PPP have done this to me. Not African people or Indian people who want to give me 100 zinc sheet or whatever. They have to confess. They have to admit They have to form a reconciliation. I would not be belittling my family, future generation, by accepting a dole, a couple zinc sheet, or a bed, or a. I will sleep on the ground. This is what I'm living in here. I'm content with this. I have to. This belongs to me. But I must thank you people and look to other people who you can help and help them. My payment has begun to come to me with intelligence, and I must thank the PPP. That's what I'm saying. I must thank them, especially, you know who? Sheikh Baksh.
Heartless.
Jagdeo find himself entangled. The lies they took to him. The same thing is happening with Irfan. They took lies, too many lies, and they now not investigating. They acting with violence. Mark, you ever go to Buxton and get to know those people? What those people want? Contract for 2 morning. They want to block roads. They want to disturb any traffic or violence anybody. How this Indian family, me Civic family, they get raped and rob me and thief out me thing and beat up me wife and me family. In the 2001, right down 2002, the whole place hot, fire. Police, soldier. How this family in a dead me that and you think anybody can go? Me that live a box in there. And you think anybody can go and trouble a girl and she pick the name and she husband? Nobody can go there and interfere with them. You know why? Because your father worked for that. They win, your father win the hearts. Truth. My dad had Gandhi in my house since a little boy, man. And I grew when my father died and left me. He leave me with educated people. They were all Muslims. I was the only Hindu child amongst them. In the house, in the canister, in the car, in the drawer, with them daughters. Now it's sex, you know. They treat we have great respect for each other and love. The richest man daughter and picnic been in me hand. Alien already. Brother, Shami, Guy America, Shamu, Roshan, all his sister them. Me is the only Hindu child that grew with them. You know what happened one day? One day, Auntie Mizan Kalala befeed. Me the only Hindu child. And in this park now, one guy, he said that, my father named Kauchai. Kauchai, you can't go in there, you're Hindu. You can't go eat in there, you're Hindu. And me feel on way, right? And all them gone inside and sit down. And Auntie Mizan miss me. Now Maki mother come to the door, I say, where Kauchai? And say, Kauchai said, and she come, say, Kauchai, come. What's happened with you? Come meet. Me tell she nothing. When she gone out, one of my tell she don't want to tell she, no one call his name. Your life, you gonna feel bad. And if I call his name, and if I call his name, Auntie Mizan say, no. Never got to come and eat, live with Abito. This guy, America mother. Right? Me live with the people and if you don't teach me honesty, cleanness. Me live with African people, Uncle Bozy and neighbor Archie. I used to eat from every house in every Muslim house. Palermo Public Road. Me ate from me. Hamid, Gafur, Shami, we live in love.
The love
But me
is
not
not.
expect well that man. And you got so much hate for these people, man.
Yeah, it's so
Me
sad.
never ever expect that. That I got so much hate. What? Jaganora
Civic,
Dora?
Civic,
Jaganora never Dora.
Civic. We gotta continue on this discourse. People love and appreciate and respect you. I respect your decision. I respect whatever it is. If you feel free to give your number out for people to call for whatever, just to say hi to Civic, to have a conversation, and whatever it is, you guys can take that privately as opposed to publicly. If you so
Yeah.
wish to give your number out publicly for persons to get in touch directly, and whatever conversations you guys have will be a private conversation, and I will respect that. You want to give your number out for folks?
Yeah, no problem. 632 8918.
632 89
8918.
18. 632 8918.
Or
Of
six
course,
eight
that's
three
a
zero.
that's a Guyana number.
Yeah.
Or which one?
6830193.
6830193.
Yeah, 93.
Again, the numbers are 632 8918
Yeah.
or 6830193.
Yeah.
All right. Those are the numbers you guys can contact. Can contact Civic, and whatever conversations you guys have, it will be private conversation, whether to say thank you directly to Civic, and it's all well. Please, again, I want to repeat, do not call me to tell me that you have something for Civic. I am not responsible for that. And I'm not going to be responsible for that. Neither Civic is not asking for anything, and he's not asking anybody to ask on his behalf. I just want to make that point clear as possible. These are the numbers to get in touch with Civic and his son, to have whatever conversations you guys want to have with them
Yeah.
privately. That's all I'm saying. But Civic, thank you so much for your time, and your son. Thank him so much for his time as well. We are with you guys. There are so many people who love you guys and appreciate what you stand for today and always.
You see, Mark, that one thing, all right? Some people feel now, well, that African people with some Indian people feel now, well, like Civic get paid and Civic got some big house and Civic sell out, you know, or Civic vomit and eat them back. You understand? No, me there here in this plastic camp with me family, me wife there here. And me carry out me sister-in-law, come from Canada, and me carry out me wife in the plane, right? Have me money come up and she come and she be bury my wife for Queenstown Masjid and then she the belly here. Right? But
Again,
all my life, right? African people, I got thank all you people for bringing me through. I must help my son. I must help my children. And I must protect my family, my children and my grandchildren, especially because remember them now, Mark. And then go attack them. Me get attacked, but me just got defend it.
yeah, yeah.
You see? And come together, man. Understand this thing, man. This thing is human fancies for a short time. This thing will make sacrifice. And you
Civic,
get your grasp.
absolutely.
So
Thank
I
you.
would thank you, Mark. I like Nazima Raghubir. Julia Johnson, Adam Harris, Van Fairfield. She and Sharma got the whole thing.
You too, Mark.
And you too, but you think them break and enter your house and carry some of the thing them.
A lot of things,
So I never see back none of the film them.
Yeah.
Me say we go in the archives and they and pick up the photo on the newspaper.
Let us do whatever it is to probably get a book out on you. Again, folks who want to get directly in touch with Civic and his son, those numbers are on the screen. Please call them, talk with them privately. That is it. Please do not call me and ask me for anything or send anything to me at all. I wouldn't be accepting anything at all. Talk directly to Civic and his son, whatever it is.
So all those, you go Buxton, you see the board there, Church of God Road, the concrete thing, with the 500 people that killed. Now them family is 3 each or 4 each. You see what go on there?
Oh yeah.
It's 2,000, 4,000 people you put against yourself there, so.
Yep.
You check the maths in it?
Oh yeah. Jack and them don't care. They're not bothered about that at all. Heartless people.
Now, one more thing I want to talk to. Now, Carter told them that democracy is complex and sophisticated. And it's a mistake to equate democracy with free and fair elections. Be kind to your people, man. Be generous, man. Stop using this word democracy, man. Come down and admit to them, man, that yes, the mistake happened, so thing happened, man.
Yeah.
Stop bringing some more gun in this country, man. Bring employment at fair days pay. You don't got to give me picnic uniform money. You give me $1,000 a day. You give laborer. Me not no laborer. Me is a mechanic fuel pump technician. Me not no laborer. You give them $1,000 a day. You know what? That's what the people want. Inflation. 14 ounce pound. Heavy black market price. Corruption. These are the things that we work on now. Man, that's when you look at they talk about trajectory by developmental explosion. We have nothing there to get. It's Columbus family property. You got to go to the white man. And if you go to live in North or Europe, you go make picnic there. Me sissy and me niece then a Dutchman and American there. Then go get part of the oil money out there. Now hey. That deal done. Columbus done plan that.
Thank you.
They have no vice.
Civic.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom indeed. Thank you on behalf of the scores of people who are watching in Guyana and outside of Guyana. They send their love to you and your son and your entire family. Thank you for what you have done, and thank you for continuing to stand up.
Yeah, Mark, and I must thank you too. Yeah. And I cannot begin to tell you how much I thank you. You can never guess. Yeah.
Thank you.
You can never guess. I slept sometime, and you there in my heart. It's little boy, Ryan. Hey, Lion, little boy, last the father going to jail by me can't cuss by. We can't cuss. Hey, father going to jail by the new van come out, the jail van make. They should name the jail van Mark Benchup. All in the country. That's the first time. Hey, you make me cry by. Hey. Oh God, I thought it's the end of you by. Look at that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Civic, and the same little boy that they targeted to a day.
Yeah. Yeah, see Ryan, but we never meet him back real life.
Yeah.
I see, but you see, You see the family destruction there? You see that? And if I were being taken away from my wife, maybe the same thing would have happened to me on a long period.
Civic.
You see that pain? You see the scar there that created there? Well, it's happened to me. My family have that too. My grandchildren live like that. They have to
A lot of
uplift
people,
themselves.
a lot of people just don't know. That's why I say, who feels it knows it. Who feels it?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't
He
know.
who feels it knows
A
it.
lot of people don't know about this, the pain. They don't know about the scar. They see the smile and they just take that for granted. But I know your pain. I can only feel your pain. I've walked through some of what you have walked through in terms of being there with you and your family. I know this personally. This happened over 21 years ago. We are going to continue to talk your story. We are going to continue to talk and remember your story. Thank you so much, Civic. Thanks to your son as well. We love you guys, man.
Yeah, Mark, we love you
Yeah,
too. We'll
Mark, you
always
take
love
care.
you. We have to love you. You
Yeah.
do us good, all of you.
Thank you. God
Yeah.
Yeah.
bless.
Pleasance, Buxton, Tiger Bay. I love you people.
Oh, Civic
Yeah.
for president. Civic for president. Civic, you know you're a household name in Guyana, man. People love you. And for
I
those of you who are going to get in touch with Civic, speak with him privately. That's it. But thank you so much. One love, my friend.
yeah, one love, buddy. You take care, man. God bless you. Bye.
My friend. And we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah. We'll
You
stay.
see, money not the all time for go on. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of your credit, right? For your phone. But somebody, you never know. You know what I respect about you? You're not asking for anything. But I am saying this. I'm my supporters, or I don't like to say my supporters, but my friends who are watching. All of them are a family here on Ben Shop Radio. They see the numbers. I don't know which one is what do you call it again? Which one is Digicel or which one is GT&T?
Both is digital.
Both are
Yeah.
digital numbers. For those of you who want to bless these folks up, my friends, Civic and his son, with credit in their phones. They're not asking, they're not begging. I am saying if you wish, those of you out there, if you want to do something to put some credit in their phones, it will be appreciated. And call Civic and his son privately to have any discussion with them. Civic, thank you so much, my brother.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Mark.
too, brother.
One
You
love.
take care.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
buddy. Love you.
Yeah, love you too. Yeah. This is so painful in terms of remembering. This is so painful and remembering what this family went through. I never forget this family and what they have gone through. So if you got the numbers there for Civic, those are his numbers. He's the kind of guy. I know Civic. He's not going to beg. He's not going to beg. He's not going to do that. I respect and admire him for that. And that's why I'm saying, all those of you who are saying you want to help him, you want to help him. His numbers are there. Sometimes they're out of credit. Somebody's asking to send the number. Look, the numbers are on the screen. Allison, the numbers are on the screen right there. 632-8914. 632-89. I'm sorry, not 14. That's the wrong number. His numbers are 632-8918. Make sure it's the correct number, right? 632-8918 or 683-0193 or 683-0193 in whatever way you want to help. He's not asking, but I know the brother for years now. Just give him a call and you guys talk with him privately. Now, there seemed to be another piece of information. And I'll try to inform you guys as to what's that other piece of information. But I want to thank Civic for coming out and talking about his story. I just want to thank Civic for that. Yep, I really want to thank Civic for that. Yep, Civic is right. Some of you guys may not understand. The Civic is in a lot of area. Nigel Richardson, how are you, my friend? Hope all is well. Civic is right in a lot of areas, and a lot of people might not yep, a lot of people might not understand where. I know a lot of you understand where he's coming from, but you know, it's sad sometimes, right? Those of you who don't know what a lot of people have gone through or have endured under the hands of the corrupt PPP regime. What you heard there today is just a fraction of what has happened. And Civic is correct. Who feels it, knows it. And sometimes not all smile necessarily smiles of joy, you know. It could be smiles of deflection. But I want to talk about another situation that's happening right now. So now we'll remove the number. Those are the numbers for Civic. Again, please do not call me. And I say this out of respect, because I just don't do it. Do not call me to ask me to send anything through me, because no. Call Civic directly, please. And again, I say this with the utmost of respect to you guys, right? So don't take it be emotional, right? There's another thing I want to talk about before I go, and the attack on African Guyanese, to criminalize African Guyanese. You heard it from that brother, Civic, that Indian brother. You heard it from him. But this is the latest. You heard the police went to visit asking for Lincoln Lewis yesterday. Then the police went asking for Lincoln Lewis relatives yesterday. And today, there's a wanted bulletin for Takuma Mutupe Takuma Ogunzi. Last known address, Turkine. Offense. Listen to the offenses. Several serious offenses. And attempting to excite hostility or ill will on the ground of race, contrary to Section 3 of the Racial Hostility Act, Chapter 2301. And now, you guys see, they know where Takuma lives. And let me just say this. They know where Takuma lives. They know where to find Takuma. They know how to find Takuma Ogunzi. They know. But they deliberately are putting these wanted bulletins out with the help of the cronies and their political operatives inside the Guyana police force to issue these wanted bulletins to criminalize persons of African descent. That's specifically what they're doing, especially when persons of African descent are speaking out against them. There was no justification for this at all. None whatsoever. No justification for the issuance of this, yet another wanted bulletin. So if you're listening now, this is a breaking news story that wanted bulletin is issued for Takuma Ogunsi. Now, let me just remind you guys, Takuma is out there. Takuma is well known. Takuma, they know where he lives. Takuma, they know that he sells at the market and so forth. I'll take a quick break, but I'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, this is the breaking news right now. It is the breaking news that this unnecessary wanted bulletin has been issued for Takuma Ogunzi. I say unnecessary because Takuma Ogunzi is known to the police in a sense. When I say known, they know where he lives, they know where to find him, they know where he sells, and these sort of things. And to put a wanted bulletin out for someone that they know that they can just basically go and arrest for questioning. But yet to do this is basically to criminalize. And this is what they're doing to Black folks, African folks in Guyana. But you're not going to see them issuing a wanted bulletin for Azruddin Mohammed to question him or his security guy or guys as suspect in the murder of this guy here. You're not going to see that at all. I'll take a quick break and be back. Yep. Just spoke there with Dr. David Hines concerning the wanted bulletin. And the point that I was making is you're not going to see them going after and arrest and issue wanted bulletin for Azruddin Mohammed for something far more heinous than someone exercising their constitutional rights. And I say far more heinous because allegations have been leveled against Azruddin Mohammed as being part and parcel of the murder of Fagundes. Nobody's saying that he's guilty, but fingers are being pointed at Azruddin Mohammed. But you're not going to see any wanted bulletin for Azruddin Mohammed. You're not going to see that because maybe he has his friends like the Irfans and the acting commissioner of police and so forth. So you're not going to see wanted bulletin for him, even though they should be, so that they can question him. Whether he's guilty or not is a different story. But no, the police going to rush down to his business so that they could collect pittances, as we saw a bunch of policemen and women lining up to collect whatever it is that they were collecting not so long ago. But the ice pass black folks in Guyana, the ice pass persons of African descent, they're issuing wanted bulletin for people who are exercising their constitutional rights. When will it stop? That's the question. When will it stop? When will it stop? Wanted bulletins for these guys. Wanted bulletin for these guys. But this guy, Azruddin Mohammed, running around with government officials, police, senior police officers, and all manner of things, and they're not questioning him or this other suspect, mind you. Suspect, that's the key word, suspect. They're not going to arrest them. They're not going to send out wanted bulletin for them. But instead, these guys are getting deals. They're getting contracts. They're liming and posing with ExxonMobil officials that ExxonMobil is doing business with these folks in Guyana. They're not going to go, the police force, they're not going to go and arrest these goons, these criminals at some jumbo jet security firm or some nonsense. Everybody gets security thing. Look, with a big gun, beating a businessman. They're not going to put wanted bulletins out for these people. They're not going to put wanted bulletin out for folks at Guyana security, so-called security firm, that they rush into a police station and threaten the lives of others in a police station and the police can't do nothing. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Look, Noel Lawrence, don't come and tell me, but there's a cap to free speech. But must remember there's a cap to free speech, and there's a this, and there's a that, and there's a this, and there's a that. And now it's not time for there's a this, and there's a that. You know, go somewhere else with that crap. Why don't you call Freedom House or go and tell Jack Dale that there's a cap to free speech? These folks, these lagu bagus in the PPP can do whatever they want. They can beat people with guns. They can go out and commit all sorts of heinous crimes and allegations of murders and all manner of things, and they're not arrested, right? You come in and tell me crap, but there's a cap for freedom of speech. Why don't you tell this one?
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
Ministers, when they come to the communities.
Annoying voice.
Right across Ghana.
Annoying voice. And then some of us coming but free speech and cap the free speech and all manner of dotishness. Now is not the time for that. I'm not concerned, Lawrence, where you live. I don't ask you where you live and whether you're affiliated with anybody. Now is not the time for cap, for free speech, and there's a cap. You don't know what Ogunsi said. You claim you haven't heard what Ogunsi said, but yet you know there's a cap for free speech and there's a cap for this. And look, Noel, if you don't know something, please don't talk. Find out first what he said. What he basically said, he was talking directly to members of the Guyana Defense Force and the police force, that they shouldn't take political orders to go and do ill things to persons who look like them. And the regime has a problem with something like that. Don't come here with no justification, but there's a cap. But these goons like Jack Dew and them could say and do anything. And they have all the rights to do and say anything. And everybody else must shut up. Everybody else must be afraid to speak, right? Man, some of you guys, I don't know. But this is not the first time they're doing these things. They're criminalizing African Guyanese. You can't speak out. You can't stand up. You can't speak out against wrong things. You can't exercise your constitutional rights. You can't do these things. You become a target. I know of all of that. They have put me through all of that, from all of the charges in Guyana, from treason to sedition to every single thing. I have gone through that before. So I know. I know the culprits. I know the political bandits and the vagabonds and the demonic forces there in that country, and also those who support them. And once you have big money to offer them, they're not going to arrest you. You could do all manner of things. You could kill, you could knock down, you could do anything. They're not going to arrest you. That is how the PPP operates. And it's sad that our country is where it is today. I'll be back later on this evening. Or maybe if there's anything in between, I'll be back. But for now, God bless you guys. I've got to go.
These people have no conscience. No conscience they don't have. None. Go.
Mr. Watts, he is armed himself shots. Watch it, tear gas. Light rounds. Also, I can see that.
Just for Quendon!
The man is a boxer, man. Why can't put in a boxer, man, to do that?
But since my cousin there, you know you come on the East Coast.
You listen to me.
Right? You know you come on the East Coast.
You listen to me.
You gotta listen to me too, man.
I am listening to
right?
you.
Now, I see you on the East Coast. The day when they get a protest of them, the next day, that's when you see one bigger heads come up to talk to my family. Right? And that's bad. If you didn't do a protest, you want to see nobody for justice. You see? I'm not holding back nothing. I'm not holding back nothing. I just need justice of my family.
I get visitors all of a sudden. All the visitors. This is Joker. Who is that Joker? That piece of plum. They know who the deal with you.